So the franchise tag window is open for the NFL, which means all eyes are on Dallas and George Pickens. Pickens is a free agent after setting career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns this year in his first season with the Cowboys. But it is still widely expected that Dallas will use the franchise tag on their star wide receiver. We welcome in Kimberly Martin now here to First Take. And so Kmart, is tagging Pickens the right call for Dallas?
It's not a matter of should they use it. The expectation is they will use the franchise tag on him because to this point there's been no news, no inkling that both sides have talked about a long-term deal. If you're Dallas, I understand wanting the flexibility of being able to hold on to a George Pickens on the tag. But if you're looking at him as Dallas, you might want to pay him 27, 28 in that T. Higgins market because you're already paying CD over 40. But if I'm George Pickens, I don't want that. I don't deserve that. I deserve a lot more than 27, 28 because of the production that I've put out on the field. I think if you are Dallas, I understand paying Dak, paying CD, and not wanting to pay George Pickens long term. But if you move on from Pickens, even if you tag him, trade him, whatever, if you only have him for this year, move on from him, what are you doing to your offense, doggy? It's worked with CD, Dak, and George Pickens. Last year, we saw that offense be explosive. Now you take that piece away. What are you going to expect more from Dak with one less option?
They only won 8 games, though.
Okay, is that on the offense or is that on the defense?
No, but you can't score 40 points every game, and your defense was so bad, so you had no blend. And how did it work for Cincinnati? They gave Higgins all that money. They gave Chase all that money, and they stink too. You can have 2 receivers, paying them basically a combined $60 million in a salary cap. That's too much money. And I understand he's great when he's into it. He's great.
He's been into it.
Why, a couple games last year against the Lions, you know, that Thursday night game, everybody went crazy.
Okay.
Pittsburgh did trade him. I think having 2 guys who are 1 receivers making, you know, what's CD make, 40 million?
40. And
he's going to make 28. What's the tag? It's 28, 29, the top 5, the average. Mm-hmm. That's 68. What's the cap? Next year, it's over 210, 215. Is that what it is?
It's bananas. You can find money for them though.
Yeah, but that's 60 million of your cap towards 2 guys who are wide receivers. I want to balance out my team a little better, so I wouldn't do it. You're right. They're probably going to. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do it. It's too much money for the team.
The only thing about the Bengals, though, is you saw the Cowboys actually invest in their defense at the trade deadline. They actually tried to improve it, where the Bengals feels like they have not tried to improve their defense at all for years. Go ahead.
Cowboys have 15 unrestricted free agents. 15. 3 are the priority. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jadeveon Clowney, Javonte Williams, and, of course, George Pickens. Those are considered the 3 top priorities. Here's the reality. If you franchise Pickens, that could be disastrous because you're not investing in him long term. I know that means you can still negotiate a long-term deal with him.
Historically,
but historically, you're not going to do that, right? So because that's the reality, now you've got a disgruntled dude in that soap opera that already exists. We know that doesn't work well for the Cowboys because we've seen it. It's great for the headlines. They're gonna fill the back pages.
Great for you.
Great for me. But it ain't going to help them win football games, okay? So you got that going on. That's why you don't sign him to a franchise tag. Now, I will say this, and I'm going to come to you with this, Kimberly. You talk about the money that he deserves. Well, let's backtrack on that for a second. His market cap is at $30.6 million. The franchise tag would be $28. You're only talking about $2.5 million. You only talk about $2.5 million. Now, we know that based on the year that he had, that he's deserving because CeeDee Lamb is at 36. So if you're looking at him, you're probably thinking I should get at least 34. It's a couple of tricks to all of this. Number one, okay, there was a couple of games where people question your effort. That's a fact. I'm rooting for him. I want him to get his money. I'm a fan of George Pickens. Remember, I'm a Steelers fan. I never wanted them to let him go. I didn't like the fact that they labeled him temperamental and tried to come up with all these storylines. I interviewed him on the football, just like you out there, except I wasn't in the freezing cold. It was nice in Dallas that day. I was on the field. So it was very, very nice. It was warm weather. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Me and Ryan Clark were talking to him. But the point is, had a good time talking to him. He deserves his money. I told him to his face he deserves his money. But they're still going to hold that kind of stuff against him. Number two, they had all-world season. He had 93 catches, 1,429 yards, and 73 first downs. You know, he was balling, 9 touchdowns. Still didn't help them win. They didn't win games because your defense was trash. Okay, so now you got that going on. Then you got Mulugeta, his agent. The same dude that represented Micah Parsons that Jerry Jones wanted to circumvent. Now that's going to be interesting as well, because if you are willing to talk to Mulugeta, then that would be because of Micah Parsons. In other words, Micah Parsons, told you one thing, did another, and you had something against Micah Parsons, as opposed to being dismissive of the agent. If you are dismissive of the agent with Micah Parsons, if you were, then why would you not be now? That agent ain't changed. Now, Mulugeta's one of the best in the business. Yes. You better not do that to him, but he did it with Micah Parsons. Is he going to do that with Pickens?
No, the difference is Jerry and Micah had an existing relationship, right? That closeness where Jerry thought, oh, yeah, hey, friend, well, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, that doesn't exist with Pickens. He's been here 1 year. I will say you keep bringing up Pickens' stats. The one thing you're not talking about is CD's stats. You know why CD has also had a good season? He is phenomenal. But having George Pickens as a defense, knowing that, okay, who am I going to have to stop? Okay, we're going to try to take out CD, but George Pickens is going to get off.
What?
If we tried, what?
CD
you don't think
no.
What I'm saying is having George Pickens also helps CD.
I agree with that.
That is undeniable.
I agree, but CD produced before Pickens arrived there.
I understand that. All I'm saying is there's a reason why the Bengals, you may disagree with it, but there's a reason they're trying to keep Jamar NT. Because you want to talk about your Steelers? You got a number one, right? Who else is the wide receiver?
Well,
there?
let me throw this back.
Who else is the wide receiver?
I'll give you the floor. They don't have another wide receiver.
Okay.
I'll give you the floor.
Okay.
I'll give you the floor with this last question. Just like Cincinnati, Dallas had an all-world offense with two elite receivers, and where did it get them? So if you're Dallas, do you sacrifice Pickens to make sure you can take care of your defense?
I will go back to what Shae said. Unlike the Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, you saw their defense actually be better as the season went on. Had they not waited to the last second to move Micah Parsons, then you're not saddling a new first-time head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, with, hey, you know how you thought you were going to have Micah Parsons on this defense? Yeah, you're not going to have him now. Now figure that out. Like, the Bengals, we knew their defense needed to be upgraded, and they didn't. That's the difference between Dallas and Cincinnati. So while we're talking about the offenses not helping them win games, I think in Dallas it's a different situation.
Yeah, the Bengals didn't even sign Trey Hendrickson until like the last week before the season started. Like they had no objective to making their defense better. So we'll see what happens with George Pickens. This will be a conversation continuing throughout the offseason.
I'm just listening to Kimberley speak right now, and I just want to say for the record to America that I regret not having you and Kimberley speak about the whole Tony Clark situation. I think that would have been epic television. That's my bad. That's my bad, America.
More interesting.
I would have loved to hear a woman's perspective. Tony Clark, damn.
More